Hello everyone, and welcome to Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. I am your host, Joey G. In this video, we're going to explain my motivation on modeling the 1950s. The 1950s was a great time of innovation for the railroad industry. The transition from steam to early diesel gives me a great variety of locomotives and rolling stock to choose from. We will be preserving the history of the equipment, structures, and operations on this layout. Even though passenger trains were in decline due to automobile and airline transportation, they still provided luxury and style. With their sleek, streamlined uniform coaches and locomotives, they were still at the top for ground transportation. Many trains still ran in the 1950s. We will provide you with a variety of these passenger trains, including the Santa Fe Super Chief, the Pennsylvania Railroad Broadway Limited, New York Central's 20th Century Limited, Illinois Central's City of New Orleans, the Nickel Plate Road's The Westerner, the Southern Crescent, Great Northern's Empire Builder, the Frisco's Texas Special, and many, many more. Rolling stock in the 1950s were traveling billboards advertising the railroads. Although most of the rolling stock were brown, one can see a rainbow of colors on various cars. For instance, New York Central's Pacemaker Mail Service and the Southern Pacific Overnighter. Many older cars from the 30s and 40s can be found roaming the system. The commodities they hauled were designated to a certain type of car. For example, livestock were placed in cattle cars, and mail can be found on the railway post office boxcars, which were called head-end cars on passenger trains. It will also look more prototypical to run smaller trains or more larger realistic trains, since rolling stock at that time were shorter than today's rolling stock. Modeling the 1950s gives me an opportunity to redesign the track plan in industries. To show off these passenger and freight trains, I want to have vast scenic vistas inspired by locations found throughout the United States. The plan is to have 1. The main line elevated 4 inches with a continuous loop of double-track mainline with no switches. It will hug the perimeter of the layout. 2. Combine the Bell Community Branch switching layout, and the branch line will be ground level separated from the main line. This will keep operators focused on switching while the mainline trains operate separately. Taking down the switching layout leaves more space in the studio for guests and operators to visit and run the layout. 3. Switch operations will feature structures and industries based on 1950s operations. 4. All 4 seasons are represented, especially the large, long winter scene. Modeling the 1950s forces you to research and look for a variety of sources, from books to articles to videos. This is one of the most exciting and fun parts of the hobby. You step back in time and get to know the people and equipment, as well as a time in American history. It is also great to be a part of a variety of historical societies and make friends with other historians, modelers, and rail enthusiasts who have grew up or also model and have like-minded abilities, experiences, and knowledge, and also learn from each other. This is what the hobby is all about. Modeling this era gives me the opportunity to share the history with you, the viewer. Content will include new layout construction, how-to videos, operations, and history lessons with the layout as the movie set. Join me on this journey as we step back in time to the 1950s. This is Joey G, with TOTB. Let's go back in time.